Hi there, thanks for joining me again. My name is Alan, this is my channel, and what you see before you are some 28mm front rank figures from a medieval English army. I got asked on another video whether I had any medieval armies. I've got a few that you might find of interest, and I thought I'd start with the English, largely because this is an army that I've had for many years. I painted it probably 15-20 years ago. I painted it predominantly in a different style to the style that I use now. Most of the archers are painted using a white undercoat and then a wash effect over the top, whereas now I use a more, I suppose, typical approach with a black undercoat and a sort of triad mix in terms of coloration. And we'll have a little look at the figures shortly. As I said, these are all from front rank, 28mm. They're from their 100 Years' War and Wars of the Roses range. I've chosen that because I wanted a sort of mid to late period army. It's obviously predominantly consists of archers or longbowmen. As per their historical counterparts, the average was anywhere from probably around 3-to-1 to 8-to-1 in terms of longbowmen to mounted, men at arms and other troops. And what the English of the day did was to try and use the archers to break up enemy advances, charges, and funnel the attacking troops onto the waiting men-at-arms who, as I said earlier, were dismounted largely for a number of reasons. One, it worked well with the archers. It also meant that they retained greater control over the troops because it was physically unable for them to go, wandering off, as it were, after a charge. And it just meant the whole army was a bit more cohesive and fought well together. What I've done is mix some hand-painted banners with some purchased banners, largely from Battle Flag, the newer ones. I've had a go at my own heraldry on a number of miniatures. I hope you like the effect that I've been able to produce. What I was trying to achieve here was something which, from a tabletop distance, would look as per their historical counterparts. It isn't as difficult as it looks. You just need a bit of a steady hand, and just remember, it's about that impression. If you looked at these, really up close, they're probably not, as per the court arms of England with the lions, the three lions there. But obviously, from a distance, you get a very good impression, and that sort of effect, when you use it en masse, I feel makes quite a big difference. And obviously, this army has a lot of archers in. They're not particularly showy, so where you have got some of the knight figures, I think it's a good idea to try and introduce a bit more colour and just make the army sort of stand out a little bit more. The two command figures I've got here are Henry V and John, Duke of Bedford, his brother. And if we pan around the army, you'll see that I've sort of attempted to give you an impression of what the figures look like when they're deployed for battle. Let's just move these guys over here. So we've got a long line of archers on the flank there, pushing towards some dismounted knights, more archers, more dismounted knights. We've obviously got the army positioned here between two woods, which was quite a common theme for armies in general, that they like to anchor their flanks against something more secure. But I think that gives quite a good impression of how the army might have lined up historically and how it could be used. We've got some figures in the background here which I tend to use either as hoblars or sort of like skirmishing scouting cavalry that were used by many medieval armies, or sometimes I use them to indicate that I've got some longbowmen who have actually been mounted on horses, which happened a lot on raids and such like. In terms of on the tabletop, really I think it's best to fight historically matched opponents where you can, and the English in particular are a tough opponent in period, so it's best perhaps to think of an historical scenario, or things like raids and certain things like that, which can add a bit more of an interest level within the game and prevent it just becoming, attack versus defense. But anyway, hopefully you like the figures that you see before you. There will be some more showcases from me shortly, and hope you stick with the channel, enjoy what you see. If you do, just click the subscribe button and make a comment and let me know. If you've got any questions about painting, construction, figures, etc., feel free to jot those down as well, and I'll happily do my best to answer them. Other than that, thanks very much for your time. Hope you've enjoyed watching. See you soon.